My wife is doing everything she can to save the marriage she destroyed by cheating on me. She had an affair, got pregnant by her lover, and now she's begging me for another chance. But I don't know if there's anything left to save. Hello Reddit I plus, here. I never imagined I would sit in a courtroom and hear a judge tell me I had to attend marriage counseling with the woman who had destroyed our marriage. But that is exactly what happened. I'm 42, and until 6 months ago, I thought I had a pretty ordinary life. I had been married to my wife, Rebecca, for 14 years. We had 2 children together, a 13-year-old son and a 10-year-old daughter. At least I thought they were both mine. I worked hard, paid the bills, coached my son's baseball team, helped my daughter with her homework, and spent most weekends doing something with the family. I wasn't perfect. I worked too much sometimes. I could be emotionally distant when I was stressed. I wasn't the type of husband who sent flowers every Friday, but I loved my wife. I trusted her, and apparently, that trust was the stupidest thing I had ever done. About 8 months ago, I discovered that Rebecca had been having an affair with a man she met through her work. It wasn't a drunken mistake. It wasn't one night. It wasn't something that just happened. It had been going on for nearly a year. And during that year, she became pregnant. The baby was born 3 months before I found out the truth. For 3 months, I believed that baby was mine. I held him. I bought him clothes. I stayed awake at night when he cried. I even took time off work when he was sick. Then one evening, everything collapsed. I found messages between Rebecca and her lover, hundreds of them. Some were romantic, some were explicit, some were conversations about the baby. And then I saw one sentence that made my stomach turn. "We both know the baby looks exactly like you." I confronted her. At first she denied everything. Then she cried, then she admitted the affair, then she admitted she didn't know whether the baby was mine. So I demanded a DNA test. The results came back 2 weeks later. I wasn't the father. The man she had been sleeping with was. That was the moment something inside me died. I filed for divorce. Rebecca refused to accept it. She told everyone that our marriage was worth saving. She told our families that I was throwing away 14 years over one terrible mistake. One mistake. An affair lasting almost a year. A secret pregnancy. Another man's child. And apparently, I was the unreasonable one. Then came the court hearing. Rebecca's attorney stood beside her and addressed the judge. "Your Honor, my client does not wish to dissolve the marriage. She believes the relationship can be repaired with professional guidance. She is asking the court to order marital counseling before this divorce proceeds." I stared at my wife. She wouldn't look at me. My attorney stood. "Your Honor, this isn't a situation where the parties simply disagree about communication. My client's wife maintained a lengthy affair, became pregnant by another man, concealed the child's parentage, and allowed my client to believe he was the father. The DNA test has confirmed otherwise. My client has made his decision. He wants the marriage dissolved." The judge looked at Rebecca. "Do you understand that your husband is requesting a divorce?" "Yes, Your Honor." "And you oppose it?" "I believe we can fix this." I almost laughed. "Fix it?" The judge leaned back. "Given the circumstances involving the child, I am going to order a limited period of counseling." I immediately leaned toward my attorney. "What?" The judge looked directly at me. "Mr. Holloway, I understand that you are angry. Angry isn't the word I'd use. Then choose your next words carefully." My attorney grabbed my arm. I took a breath. The judge continued. "Regardless of how this marriage arrived at this point, there is a child involved. I want both parties to participate in counseling so that communication can be established and the parties can address the consequences of the breakdown of the marriage." I finally spoke. "Your Honor, I have no intention of raising another man's child." The courtroom went silent. The judge's expression hardened. "I did not order you to raise the child. I ordered counseling." "Understood." "You will attend." "Yes, Your Honor." He struck the gavel. 2 sessions per week for 4 weeks. The counselor will submit a compliance report. And that was how I ended up in a therapist's office 3 days later. The counselor was a man named Dr. Grant Mercer. He appeared to be in his late 50s, calm, professional, and completely unaware of the disaster that had just walked through his door. "Mr. Holloway, I'm Dr. Mercer." "Doctor." "You can call me Grant." "No." He paused. "No? You can call me Mr. Holloway." He looked at Rebecca. She gave him an uncomfortable smile. "He's still very angry." I turned toward her. "Don't talk about me as if I'm not sitting here." Dr. Mercer raised his hand. "Let's try something. No interruptions. Each person gets an opportunity to speak." "Fine." Rebecca started crying. "I know I made a terrible mistake." I stared at her. "A mistake?" "Yes. You made a choice every single day for almost a year." She wiped her eyes. "I know. You lied to me every morning." "I know. You came home and kissed me after sleeping with him." "Please. You let me hold a baby you knew wasn't mine." She covered her face. Dr. Mercer looked at me. "Mr. Holloway, I understand your anger, but—" "No, doctor, you don't." I pulled out my phone. "Actually, I'm done." I put my headphones on. Dr. Mercer stared at me. Mr. Holloway. I turned my music up. For the next 20 minutes, Rebecca spoke while I sat there listening to music. Eventually, she stood up. She looked furious. You are unbelievable. I removed one earbud. Have a nice day. She walked out. Dr. Mercer sat silently for a few seconds, then he sighed. I don't think this process is going to be productive if you refuse to participate. I attended. Attendance isn't the same as participation. That's what the judge ordered. Attendance. He shook his head. I'll be submitting a report. Great. I left. 2 weeks later, we were back in court. The judge had the counselor's report in front of him. He wasn't smiling. Mr. Holloway. Yes, Your Honor. The counselor reports that you refused to participate. I attended. You put headphones on. I did. You ignored your wife. Correct. Do you believe that satisfies the order? My understanding was that I had to attend counseling. I did. The judge looked at my attorney. Counsel? My attorney stood. Your Honor, the counselor himself terminated the remaining sessions because he believed they were unlikely to be productive. The judge frowned. That doesn't mean your client complied. Respectfully, Your Honor, my client has made his position very clear. He wants a divorce. The counselor's report doesn't change the underlying facts. The judge leaned back. 4 additional weeks. I nearly lost my temper. Your Honor? 4 weeks, Mr. Holloway. I sat down. My lawyer whispered, don't. I clenched my jaw. Fine. The next counseling session was different. When I walked in, the chairs were arranged beside each other. I moved mine several feet away. Rebecca reached toward it. I immediately stepped back. Don't touch me. She froze. Dr. Mercer looked between us. Let's establish some boundaries. Good. I pulled out my phone. Dr. Mercer frowned. What are you doing? I'm recording. Why? Because I want an accurate record of what happens in here. That's not something I normally allow. Then I'll ask the court for another counselor. Rebecca sighed. Can we please just do this? Dr. Mercer eventually agreed, provided everyone consented to the recording. Then he looked at me. What do you hope to accomplish by being here? Nothing. Nothing? I want a divorce. Rebecca started crying. Dr. Mercer turned toward her. How do you feel hearing that? Like I'm losing my family. I looked at her. You lost your family when you decided to create another one behind my back. She lowered her head. Dr. Mercer was quiet. Then he asked me something I wasn't expecting. Do you hate her? I thought about it. No. Rebecca looked up. I don't hate her. Then what do you feel? I swallowed. Nothing. That wasn't entirely true. I felt betrayed, humiliated, furious. But underneath all of that was something worse. I missed the woman I thought she was. Dr. Mercer asked Rebecca to explain why she cheated. She said she felt invisible. She said I was always working. She said the other man made her feel wanted. Then she said something that changed everything. I thought if I had the baby, maybe we could start over. I stared at her. You thought having another man's child would save our marriage? I was confused. No, you were selfish. She began crying. Dr. Mercer told me to let her finish. So I did. She explained that her lover had promised to leave his own relationship. He never did. When she became pregnant, he became distant. When the baby was born, he barely visited. Then she realized she had destroyed her marriage for a relationship that had never been real. She wanted me back. Not because she had suddenly discovered morality, because the other man had abandoned her. That realization hurt more than I expected. I looked at her. So I'm your backup plan? No. That's exactly what this sounds like. She shook her head. I love you. I laughed bitterly. Love doesn't look like this. Dr. Mercer interrupted. Both of you need to understand something. Rebuilding trust isn't the same as pretending the betrayal didn't happen. I looked at him. I don't want to rebuild it. He nodded. Then your goal may be learning how to separate without destroying each other. That was the first useful thing he had said. For the next few sessions, something strange happened. I stopped fighting. Not because I wanted my marriage back, because I finally realized I didn't need Rebecca to admit she was wrong anymore. She knew, our children knew, her family knew, everyone knew. The only person who still needed permission to move forward was me. Then, during our 6th session, Dr. Mercer asked Rebecca a question. If your husband divorces you, what do you think happens next? She started crying. I'll lose everything. No, I said quietly. She looked at me. You'll lose your husband. She stared at me. But you'll still have your children. You'll still have your career. You'll still have a chance to build a better life. Without you? Yes. She shook her head. I don't want that. I know. Then she said something that surprised me. I don't deserve another chance, do I? I didn't answer immediately. Finally, I said, no. The room went silent. But you deserve a chance to become a better person. She looked down. For the first time since the affair was discovered, I saw something other than desperation on her face. She looked ashamed. Not afraid of losing me. Actually ashamed. The court hearings continued. Eventually, the judge received the final counseling report. The report said that reconciliation had not occurred, but that communication between us had improved significantly. My attorney filed another request for divorce. This time, Rebecca didn't oppose it. At the final hearing, she sat quietly beside her attorney. The judge looked at both of us. Mrs. Holloway, do you still oppose the divorce? She looked at me. Then she shook her head. No, Your Honor. The judge looked surprised. Why? She took a breath. Because I finally understand that I can't force someone to forgive me. I looked down. The judge granted the divorce. 14 years of marriage ended with a few signatures and a quiet walk out of a courtroom. But the story didn't end there. 3 months later, Rebecca called me. I almost didn't answer. She asked if we could meet. I agreed, mostly because I wanted to make sure everything involving the children was settled. We met at a small coffee shop. She looked different. Not physically. She just seemed quieter. I started therapy, she said. Good. I'm also seeing a counselor about why I made the choices I did. That's good too. She looked at me. I wanted to tell you something. What? I'm not calling because I want you back. I didn't say anything. I know I don't get to ask for that anymore. She looked down at her hands. I just wanted to apologize without expecting anything from you. That was the first apology I believed. No excuses, no tears, no, but you worked too much. No blaming, just an apology. I accepted it. Not because I was ready to forgive everything, but because I was finally ready to stop carrying it. As for the baby, I never became his father. I have nothing against the child. He didn't betray me. He didn't ask to be born into a complicated situation, but I had to establish boundaries. The biological father eventually became involved. And my children stayed with me part of the week and their mother the rest. The hardest part was explaining everything to my son and daughter. We didn't tell them every adult detail. We told them their mother and I were separating because adults sometimes make serious choices that damage relationships. My daughter asked me if I was still her father. That question nearly broke me. I hugged her and told her, nothing your mother or I ever do will change that. She cried. So did I. Today, I'm rebuilding my life. I moved into a smaller house. I started exercising again. I see my kids constantly. I spend time with friends I had neglected. And for the first time in years, I don't wake up wondering whether the person beside me is telling me the truth. People have asked me if I regret refusing to save my marriage. I don't. I regret trusting someone who didn't value that trust. I regret the years I spent believing everything was fine. But I don't regret leaving. The judge originally believed counseling might save our marriage. It didn't. What it did was something I didn't expect. It helped me understand that forgiveness doesn't always mean reconciliation. Sometimes forgiveness means accepting that someone hurt you, accepting that you cannot change what happened, and deciding you won't allow their choices to control the rest of your life. Rebecca destroyed our marriage, but she doesn't get to destroy the rest of my life. And honestly, that's the part I'm finally grateful for.